All right, hello, hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. It looks like you can, although hold on. It looks like it's a little bit low. Probably gonna hear the girl in the background too. All right, that looks like that's better sound-wise. I have a different mic on today, so maybe it's a little bit high. Maybe put it right there. You need regular caffeine. No, it was a crisis. I went down and I was like getting my refill. And then I looked and I was like, I was like, I don't normally leave it like that. And I messaged Melissa because she has a doctor's appointment this morning. And she's like, no, I put decaf in there. I was like, no. So like I had to like take it and throw it out real quick and switch it around and get regular coffee again. I was like, nah, we're not doing that decaf thing. So it's not gonna happen. Definitely no. Had to put my foot down right there and be like, mm. All right. Mic was still working. I was just trying to see Jin is making a bunch of noise in the back, and I was trying to see if the mic was picking it up. Sound wise, it didn't look like it was. Nope, it looks like it's quiet. That's good because she's making some noise, and I was really curious about testing the noise cancellation with this one. All right, let's switch it over here. This is where it should have been, not on natural gas. Sound is good, just you. Okay. Oh, actually, you know what? I can turn this off right there. I got all these lights. Like I said, the morning always starts weird when you have kind of like an expectation of, you know, you have an expectation of, I'm gonna have some nice, delicious, warm, not hot, but warm black coffee. That caffeine as it surges through your veins, and then all of a sudden, what do you have? Decaf. Womp, womp, womp. All right, so obviously this morning, not tons of movement. Dollar strength coming in a little bit, but it's not really even dollar strength, right? Euro, dollar, pound, dollar, both up. Last 60 minutes, they've both been down. You know, dollar yen, dollar Swiss, both up decently, right? They're not having any type of pullback there like you're seeing in the other two European pairs. Dollar CAD flat at -2. And again, it's kind of retracing back again in the last 60. And again, a lot of this has to do with, kind of some of the data we're seeing over here. In particular, the price index, but also all the comments made by Bullard and George. And I say George, but I should say Esther. So I did research it. I wasn't sure. I know Bullard he's a voting member. Esther George is not. She's an alternate for 2021, but she is a voting member in 2022. So she's saying that we need to ease, and I don't know if you guys see here. I love this. We need to start easing off the policy juice. So yeah, I mean, I didn't, I didn't expect. Oh, it's not this one. Where is it? It's funny. There she is. I didn't expect the Fed to be using things like policy juice, but I guess that is a technical term now. The policy juice. So we're going to throw that right in there into the tapering bucket of things that we can say for the next couple weeks. I'm like, the policy juice. All right, the policy juice. But yeah, she thinks it's appropriate, given we've seen, the progress we've seen. And then, Bullard, I love some of his things. We're getting more inflation than we expected. Wow, imagine that, right? Imagine that. You're seeing the same thing everybody else. Esther George sounds like a storm name. Yeah, it could be, right? Well, Todd and I were talking about that, about how you just don't hear the same names that you used to hear anymore, right? Like Esther. If you say Esther, it pretty much is, and again, if anybody's grandmother is Esther, I apologize. But if you hear Esther, this is kind of what you're thinking, right? You're thinking like an older kind of white lady, right? Like there are certain names that just get associated with that. Like there's Esther, there's Gertrude, right? I think Todd said, what did he say? Like Matilda or something like that. There's just certain names that are just not, necessarily common now, but used to be very common. So yeah. And if you guys have any other ones, just kind of type it in the chat. Ernest, this is what happens when I get my hands on decaf and I start drinking it, and then all of a sudden I realize that it's like, what? I would be horrible, right? I'm like horrible, and like if I was ever in like a drug trial, I feel like I'd be bad, right? I'm like, what do you mean this is the placebo? It was working for me. I would be that guy, right? This is why, like in college, I was very limited in my experimentation with, mind-altering substances, right? Yeah. I was all for like, I believe that like the medicinal ones were fine, right? The things that are now legal, I was good with those, right? But any of the other mind altering substances, I was like, nah, because like if I see like a pink elephant start climbing up the wall, I'm gonna lose it, right? So I was always one of the ones that's like, nah, I like control a little bit too much. I'm not going down that route, right? But decaf coffee, it's one of those ones that it just slips in there, and you know how it works, right? Decaf coffee. Alice, no, there's Alice is one that I actually know some Alice's, right? Yeah, no, I mean, Alice is, I wouldn't say Alice is like get just tagged, right? As one of those, right? Um, yeah, and Gertrude, yeah, right, Gertrude. Um, Chantel, I feel like, oh, now grandmas are named Chantel. Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I feel like there's just old names that people don't use anymore, right? So yeah, but Esther, I believe, is one of them. Although it's funny, and I don't know, maybe explain this too. So it's the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, but she has a moose pin. Like, do they have a lot of moose in Kansas City? I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a strange little thing there. But it's funny, like she's like all black, man. Black blazer on top of black, blouse, and then gold, right? And obviously this is not her real hair curl, but you know how that goes. But besides that, back on track, we have natural gas at 10:30 today. You guys know how to play that one. And then obviously all day today it's going to be Jackson Hole. We'll be looking Myrtle. Yes, Myrtle is another one. Absolutely, yeah, I should give you pip chips for that one. Myrtle. I think that's what Todd said. Yes, Jinjin, go ahead and play with the bus. Yeah, Myrtle is another one that we just don't see kids naming Myrtle. And I'll tell you right now, we're in like, if you guys have any great boy names, we're still struggling with the boy's name. We have a couple that we like. And then it's like kind of like I like one for a day, but I'm like, I don't know. Could I call him that all the time? Like I like the nickname, but it's been one of those things. Like I don't like top 25 base names. I don't like general things. So like when like Asher and Reese were born, I was like, all right, we want different but not crazy. I don't like Michael or John. None of those things. Aiden, absolutely not. I have a nephew named Aiden, but I was like, I don't want anything in the Aiden, Caden, Jaden realm. None of those, those things. But we want different. So now we kind of have our list, and we're like struggling. We're like kind of like, my only rules are that it can't be like a top 25 name like Liam. Like I'm not a huge fan. Melissa likes Liam, but Liam is the number. And it's funny. I mentor a student named Liam, but it's the #1 name right now in the United States. Esther's a chain smoker. I think, yeah, it could be. Yeah, so if you guys have names, type them in chat too. That would definitely be helpful. But the rules of this one is the names can't start with an A, a J, or an R, because I have those 3 already. Although right now, kind of the leading name actually is an A, and I may break the rule just because it's like, I'm like, I'd like that one. And it has to go with a middle name of Lee. Because Melissa's like, no, I kind of want my last name to be his, middle name. I'm like, so that basically eliminates all the L names too, right? Because you have that like LL, Larry Lee. I'm like, no, that would sound horrible. Larry's another one. You don't really see many Larrys right now, right? Anybody know a Larry? I don't know any kids named Larry. I deal with kids all the time. Anyway, Jackson Hole will be the hot button for the day today. So let's dive over into the charts. All right, so oh god, this is still off. There we go. It's supposed to be down here. That means that was probably messed up as well. It's a 103.6 right there. All right, so yesterday we were sitting right here yesterday, and we talked about actually it should be here. I don't know why all these numbers are off. 72.68, right? It ended up punching a little bit higher, and again, we hit it here, we pushed further, and then it started basing. So there was actually another entry. It hasn't come all the way back down to this lower level, and I think at this point, with the talk of the taper and one of the things that Bullard said, this one I think is amazing, that Fed should get going on taper and finish by first quarter 2022. And then he's skeptical that inflation is going to moderate. And then again, I want to repeat, I want to complete the taper by the end of the first quarter. It's like, man, this guy is ready to go. I think that's all good for the U.S., right? If we start to hear that other people are jumping on board, and we have heard other comments like that, I still think if we have a break of the level at 72.36, we look for this to drop lower. As I mentioned yesterday, it's going to have a little bit of a hiccup right here around 72.22. But we need to get that 1 to 3 in, and that would bring us down right to this other level at 72.16. So I think it's a decent play. I think it's in the works today. We definitely need some dollar-based strength news. Jackson Hole is talking about, when I mentioned this earlier, it is talking about economy equality. And I figure that the only way I can assume that they're pointing that one out is everybody's going to point at the United States. Like, we have 3 vaccines here, and the economy is kind of at all-time highs, right? So it's the only thing I can think of is that, they're going to point at the United States. But, you need to raise the dollar. You need to make it more expensive. You guys are taking advantage. Yeah, I just feel like that's coming. So I do like a short. I think we're in a decent place for this one. Kind of watch that one later. Aussie dollar, or Aussie yen. Again, we talked about the hits here. It hit again in base, and then finally broke through. Now, we talked about an aggressive entry here at 79.87, and you can see it kind of ticked up and based in there and then used for it, and then kind of gave us a fake out, right? It did give us kind of somewhat of a Harry Potter entry and came back up, but then ran right into those sellers again and then pulled us down. And if I bring this across, you can see that's what we're basing in right now. So Aussie yen is kind of in one of those loops right now where it's kind of like, is this going to be the new area where we're stuck? No, do we want to use this area up top? I would say no, because it's really this last little spike here at the European session opened this morning right at 3:30. It pushed it to the brink. Didn't break, but it pushed it to the brink. Not necessarily the best place to take another short. So I think at this point, we have to go back up where the last tested level was at 80.23. So again, that would be over here. I can pull this across. Last time it was a good entry, right? We had a good entry, and it was a very, very fast spike to the downside. And the zone was actually formed by a number of kind of these descending kind of shark tooth type candles. So, I like the zone. At this point, again, we can remove this as an entry and just kind of put this as an, really, it's more of an area of interest. You can see all the basing, based again, touched it, based in there, and is now stuck. We can remove these now because we don't need that anymore. Let's see, where are we at a potential long here? I guess there's an aggressive little entry right in here, which you could, let's see how far. You could potentially take it off of that, I guess. It's 23 down. Formed at 5, respected at 9:30. It's an okay level. Not bad. I would be curious to see when we hit it, though. So we don't really have enough news right now. It's 23 pips away. If there is some big blockbuster news, I don't think it's going to hold off blockbuster news. If it's that stagnant of a day, that is definitely something that we could kind of take off of later on. Do we have any yellow news later? Yeah, we got retail sales tonight. So for retail sales, that is a level we could use for retail sales later today. Only 23 though. There's 27. I don't know if that level will hold. If we can go all day, I think that'd be a decent level for retail sales. Retail sales is expected to be greater. And again, this is a kind of the way that I'm looking at this is I'm looking at it the same way that I looked at this one, that I think that they got a little bit too optimistic here and it missed. I'm wondering if this one comes in at a negative, say 2.4, if that'd be a big, punch forward for the Aussie. And again, that is a level that I would potentially take for a long position. Okay. Really, I guess this one is not horrible either. That was a 3 o'clock open. Have to see where we are. I'll mark it off. I think either 3 of these are potential possibilities for the Australian data tonight, if we can drive back down to those levels. Okay. I don't know that I would take like a 3 or 4 o'clock trade position off of that. But if we associate that with the Aussie news right here, that's where I'd be looking for one of those for long. Okay. Euro pound still chopping. So Euro pound right now is off by 6 pips from yesterday. Now I'm curious. Let's see. Have we gotten? I hate how this always keeps. Is it this one? Restore. I don't think I want to restore the double. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, it's on the 30-minute. I was like, wait, what? Okay, now we are down to 34. 34.7. Trying to see how low how much lower we're gonna get.
Turn down for what?
So I would say Lunar, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. As I said before, guys, I think right now where we're stuck with this one is we just don't have enough movement on a daily basis. Like I said, it's under 35 now. It's only moving 35 pips. We know for a minimum target, we like to have at least 30. So it's kind of one of those ones I would still use it as a proxy. Right now, you can say based off of the European Open, which occurred right here, you can see that it is pushing up. So right now we are more, and again, this is not saying it's strong versus everybody, but if we were looking to take a position versus a weak currency, yeah, it would be better to do it with the euro because the euro is showing more strength than the pound. As soon as this turns and flips, then we want to reverse it. And again, likewise, if you're taking something like a strong dollar position, we're much more likely to short the pound yen because, again, we're seeing weakness in those two currency pairs versus this one. So right now, again, you can see we spent all this time. Again, this was marked off for this area of interest. At 3 o'clock, we were able to get out of it a bit, but it's starting to pull back again. So, I mean, this area is still, at this point, it is still an area where it just keeps sucking into the same level, right? I'm going to remove it now just so we can kind of get another area where there's really potential. I mean, right now, these are our kind of tops and bottoms. I knew it was going to be green. Let's take this. Let's put a red here. I think we need to focus on both these levels. Again, great buying and selling pressure. We had this old area. Again, it wasn't a zone that we marked off. It has no color, but it was an area that there was some buyers coming in. So mark that off. And again, that could be a potential area. Besides that, I mean, I guess we can really, if we're looking for something more near term, and like I said, I don't know that there's a decent trading position off of this. Let's see, how big is it? Yeah, it's only 3 pips, so it's not even like an area where I'd be like, I love this zone. But there could be a potential reversal there. Just kind of keep this one, like I said, I wouldn't take this one long as far as a potential kind of spot trade. But I think if we can push down to that level, particularly at the European Open, or maybe some of the data over here on the 27th tomorrow, it could be a launching point for the day. Again, just seeing that European kind of strength come in. And actually, let me see, what is the German import prices? Wouldn't say that is earth-shattering news. That's the 29th. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think, being a Friday, I don't think I would take this one tomorrow. But watch this. This is definitely a potential reversal. Or, I mean, if you are into this position and you're looking to get short, or you are short and you like this one short, like I said, we do have 2 consecutive lower highs in this one. I would definitely look to take profit before this level. It was a decent bounce. If this was any other pair and this was more than 3 pips, it would be a valid trade entry. It's just so small. I mean, the ATR right now on the 30-minute is 5 pips. So it's, I mean, in reality, if we draw the zone there where we should, we're talking about the zone being a total of 3.2. So it is, yeah, it's about 50% of what the ATR is. So getting in that range where it's kind of like, is the zone even as big as the spread? Not there. So just be cautious with it. Euro yen. All right, so Euro yen, we had this area and we talked about getting a potential break and a potential short from this level. We mentioned it wasn't really kind of a first entry position because it got pushed to the brink when it went in, and where the first entry was. It literally pushed it to the very, very end. And as you can see, it hit, pulled back and based. Again, telltale sign it's going to break. So now what we're doing is we're actually looking at a break of that basing level. So this one will be adjusted. And again, all this happened in the overnight, so we're going to adjust it here. We're going to drop the red zone in. We're going to talk about this one breaking through the 129.28 level. We'll drop our risk to reward ratio on there, make sure we have enough room. We'll come down to 1 to 3, which is right there. And again, perfect. We want to make sure that all your profit targets are taken out before they get to, what was I using? Was I using the arrow? Yeah, kind of. We're looking for our profit before that level right there. Right there, right? That's where we got to make sure that we get out. All right. It's like visually it's off for me. Hold on. Yeah, I don't like the way the end of that is, but whatever. Anyway, so again, our 1 to 3 has range on that one. And again, that one comes in as a break of 129.28. All right. Again, it kind of matches what we're seeing in the Aussie yen, kind of pulling back a little bit, but it's got to get through that zone. And again, we got a decent base in there. So again, if it does pop, don't be surprised. But again, remember, if this then that break base, pull back 129.28 south, and again, make sure your profit is taken out before this level down here. And we will turn this black so you can see that that is a profit target. Okay. You know what? This arrow is driving me nuts. We're not going to use the arrow. We'll just use a trend line, and I'll put it this way. Like, no, just go sideways. There we go. And I'll put it as a dotted line. Okay. Euro dollar. So, all right. So, euro dollar. We talked about, let's see, yesterday we were sitting right here. Okay. We mentioned be very, very cautious if you get any type of a short position because, again, we had our 1 touch, we had our 2 touches, we had our 3 touches, and this is number 4. We expected it to break. It did exactly that. It went to the higher time frame. Or the higher level, 117.73, and as you can see, this one is pulled back decently. And again, it's touched a few times there, but again, you would not have been stopped out of a trade at this point. In this one, you're, whoops, I don't need fibs. I need this one. All right, you are actually, you can see, really, it's kind of, that's where our 1 to 3 is sitting right there. All right. So you've got a couple different entries in. It's been a while at this point. I mean, yesterday was there, and then again we had the touch at about 6:37 o'clock this morning, and that was actually the cleaner hit of it. It's you're over 1.5 to 1 at this point, so you're definitely not losing any money on this trade. You have some banked into it at this point. Just let it ride. Let's see where it goes. With it approaching 10 o'clock, 10:30 though, I would say that be cautious. I do like how this one is short. I do think we will have some dollar strength coming into the market today. All those comments about tapering and things I think are great. So those should be good. Not much else to say about this one, right? We're already into the trade, so not much we can do with the 117. And again, remember, for those of you that are new here, like Luna, if you're not sure what I mean by we shouldn't have taken that trade, it was red. You may say, well, wait, why didn't we take it, right? So we have a rule when we have zones set up. Zones are typically good. We want to make sure we take them when it is less than 4 hits. Okay, 4 is typically when they break. And this one, again, when it touched it pulled back. It touched it again, touched it again. There was our 3 hits. We want nothing to do with a short trade at that time. And again, number 4 is where it ended up breaking through and hitting. Now, this one is also hit. And again, it's arguable whether this is there. But again, you would have been in the trade. You would not have been stopped out. We typically don't tweak the stop losses too much on them. You could trail them down, and you could have trailed it into this level. And when it dropped lower, taking yourself out at a 1-to-1, and you still would have banked profit on it. But if not, if you would have just done the set and forget, this one is still off to the races to the downside. Okay. Pound yen also dropping. Now, this one, okay. This is a level right here that we talked about. It was decent. It hit and it pulled back. It made it to about a 2-to-1. Okay. And again, yesterday we were sitting right here. This was kind of one of those overnight ones that, again, we didn't catch it. Yesterday morning we were here. We said that this level may be good for one more hit, but it got blown through right away. Okay. So again, maybe took a small loss on that one. Maybe got stopped out of break even had you got the original trade. Now, we had 151.80, and we talked about this being kind of an aggressive level. We had 2 levels on top of each other, actually that old area of interest level in there. And in reality, again, it hit and pulled back down again and got back to like a 1-to-1. And, depending on what your candles look like, I took this full kind of basing level instead of just the top piece of it. You could have obviously taken the small top piece of it. That would have looked like that because, again, it goes right to the body here. Again, it's the pound yen, so things kind of have to be stretched out a bit. Actually, it'd be right there, right? So you can see it had a decent pullback, and again, maybe you got stopped out on the top side, right? This one, again, that happens, right? Since that time, though, all it's done is gone through, and again, this was the area interest, not really concerned about it. It wasn't an entry, but you can see how it rode along the top, came back down, rode through, pierced in, came right back up. And see how it keeps riding through the same zone? That's what we were talking about. We missed the entry up top. We were looking for 151.65 to really take a short on that one. So we'll remove the bottom one. I don't need the area of interest now. I'm going to move that one out. And right now for top and bottom entries, we have 151.65 on the top. We got a bit of a ways to go, so I don't think we're going to get an entry on that one today. It's about 54 pips. Just like the other yen secondary pairs, again, this one has been pushing down. You can see it's continuous, kind of lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. And it's having some issues now. And again, there were buyers in here again. As far as where we'd be willing to take this long, the first tested level is at 150.04. Jinjin, what are you doing? Oh, you're taking the ball, the lacrosse ball? Okay. Let's see. Not worried about that news. Let's see. How far do we have to drop on this one? 43. Holy, this out real quick. There is a level here, but it spent, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles there. And you guys know how I feel about 9 candle bases. Not really a huge fan of that one. Trying to see what the indicator, where the indicator has its next kind of big level at.
Incoming mail.
Same thing. It's got it down here. Actually, it's there. Right there. It's drawing a tiny level here, but I'm not really a fan of that one. Again, that one kind of got pushed to the very end. So, unfortunately, we got a big drop to the downside on this. And this is not a clean enough base to be able to take it short. I would say overall bearish this position, but I don't really have a great entry on it, unfortunately. Like I said, this is the top we were looking for. And again, it was kind of a European Open. Here's the 3, here's the 330. We missed this one by 4 pips. Nothing we can do about that. It got front run, unfortunately. And it's a shame, too, because that's a decent runner, too. Yeah, it's about 60 pips to the downside, so It's a problem with those nighttime positions. Those set and forgets when you're like, yep, hit this one and I'll wake up green. It's like, oh, it went where I thought, but we got left behind. So, yeah, unfortunately, not much we can do. I would say if you are short, I think a decent level to take profit would be right around in this level. Again, you can see that, actually, right there. Again, the bottom of this right here, okay, it's 3 ascending candles on the top side. I like it. There was a 4th here and a 5th, again, reestablishing that level. So, you know, it is a small level that you want to watch out for. You know, I would say that if anything else, it's more profit target versus kind of re-entry. But with a European Open, you know, again, it could bring some pound strength back in again. So, I mean, if you're really looking for something tomorrow morning and we get really no blockbuster headlines, you know, sitting right here. Let's see, it's 3 right there. You know, you got a potential little entry right there. But I would say, if anything else, profit target. If it does manage to grind its way down, again, it could be a potential long tomorrow morning. We'll see what it looks like if there's any basing above that level. Pound dollar. So here we go. So pound dollar, we came down and we tagged that level yesterday. This one, unfortunately, is right there. You can see well above. This is actually set to 3.14, just because of the rounding. Actually, the 1 at 3 is right. I wish I could just, like, can I just do it in here? That would be nice. No, it's more about worried about your lot sizes and things like that. Yeah. So anyway, it's set at 3.02. I missed it. Everybody with OCD is going to be mad, but not much I can do. So we're basically waiting for that level to come back in again. And again, we talked about the profit. We weren't really concerned. It blew through on the first shot, but went much, much higher. I would say right now, I mean, again, kind of the same scenario. We're expecting dollar strength to come in. This one is retracing back. It's got 20 pips to go. It's inside of that hollow area of interest right now. Look, I mean, it spent all this time in there. I mean, poked up, poked down, poked up, came back, you know, base along, came in, poked out, poked up. So we're in that same base. This would be an area where it would reverse, particularly at, you know, 10:30 this morning. We got about 20 minutes to go. Anything? I mean, at this point, I'm kind of like, man, can this thing crash in the next 25 minutes to get back down to this level? And do we attempt to take this one long again here? Right? Let me see. Let me go. I mean, we are technically, I mean, we're so close to it. Unfortunately, we just in the last hour rolled out of an up. We were in a 30-minute, 4-hour uptrend setup with that zone there. We were so close. But unfortunately, in the last hour, it kind of rolled out to like kind of like a sideways bias now for the uptrend. So I'm wondering if we take another one of these again. What was the risk on that? Like 11 pips. So yeah, not a bad trade. Yeah, if we get there, that could be something worthwhile. But I do think this one comes down and tests this one. If we do break through, I think we're clear all the way down. I'm not worried about a whole lot in here. Maybe a little bit over here. But I think if we break through this level, we got about 70 pips to run back to the downside to 136.12. As positive I am about the pound, I do think that there will be dollar strength coming back into the market, particularly, again, with everything the Fed has been saying, the different members. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD is still sleeping. So again, continuing these through, we're just literally bouncing up both sides. I took a little yesterday, and I guess kind of went a little bit higher there. But the bottom side, we're still unable to hit. Dollar CAD currently right now, on a 4-hour basis, this one has really kind of stabilized itself low. The 30-minute 4-hour is in a confirmed uptrend, but at this point, it's literally just kind of bouncing back and forth. Like none of the, actually, let me see. Can I get a better? Yeah, I mean, on the 4-hour, it was in a 4-hour daily uptrend setup, right? So I mean, it's everything is saying up. I think based off of what we're seeing with the pairs, I do like up as well. I think we will break through the channel. I think let me delete these now. We don't need these. That call spread is done. I can leave that there. That's fine. Let's see if there's any hidden levels that I really need to worry about in this one. Not really. Not really. Still, this, like I said, we need to break through, but again, we've hit it once, we've hit it twice, and we're kind of hitting it a third time. So I think it'll break, but unfortunately, it's backstop with the sellers right here. I would say probably the next like real clean area where we've seen sellers step in is probably up here. But again, we're approaching the weekend. Let's see. Yeah, that's 106 pips away. Could we get there? I mean, sure, we could. I mean, I think there's definitely the possibility that we get some dollar movement. I mean, again, we're saying in all of them. We're talking about dollar strength that would absolutely jack this up. This one could be helped if we could get oil rolling, and oil's down just a little tiny bit, 0.11. But if oil collapses, that also helps the CAD collapse. Should help jack up the dollar as well. It's probably more of a Sunday night trade, if anything else. I mean, at this point, I'm just hoping we can clear out of this kind of level of basing right now. But, I'd say, we can keep it on there, keep it on the radar. Set it up for a short position, probably next week more than anything else. I don't think it's in the books for this week right now, unfortunately. It's just too far. 100 pips in 2 days. Could it do it? Sure. But being a Friday, are we going to have a chance to go up 100 pips and then retrace in that same time? Probably not. But again, we were in an uptrend setup leading into this area on the 4-hour daily. And actually, let me bring a zone back. Yeah, we did have a little bit of a zone. Yeah, kind of. This is what I'm looking at on the 4-hour. It was using this as a zone. But up until this point, up until here, we were in an uptrend setup. So, I mean, if you were taking like kind of a longer position, that's kind of what it would have looked like. I'm trying to use a different green color, just so you can tell that it's different. That's fine, right? Actually, it'd be there. We could shrink this down. So, yeah. So, that would have been your uptrend setup on your 4-hour daily. So. What? You want some chips? But it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. Did you eat breakfast yet? No, we cannot have chips for breakfast. I want chips. I don't know if you guys can hear or not. All right, dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss, we were also looking for some movement. Again, area of interest level. You can see how much time it's been in there. It acted like a magnet. Look at it. It kept coming down and down and down and down and down, and finally grew some legs and left. So we can delete that when we're out of that area. Again, there was another one here. Again, top, base, bottom, base, bottom, top, base, and now we're finally clear from that one. But we are approaching the 92, 98. That's a level we talked about before. Decent base, right? It was a one candle top, a one base sideways, and then kind of a pull, and it did have a little pullback before dropping down. So I'd say it's a decent level. I would say that this one is a bit more contrarian versus everything else we've seen. We've talked about everything else kind of lining up for a more of a dollar strong position. This one has been going strong. So it's more set up to where we would need some type of a reversal in the dollar. And I would say the fact that this one is pushed all the way up, again, it is kind of close, right? If we can get a little bit more of a push, it only needs to move 13 pips in 13 minutes. Could we have a reversal in the morning? Sure. I mean, since the European session, which is right here, this one is basically shot straight up. That's actually since 2 o'clock. So it's about 52 pips up. It has a daily ATR of, 51. So it's put its daily ATR in just the European session. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one turns and rolls. But, there may be a position. Again, like I said, it's kind of a 1030 reversal type setup. It is contrarian to pretty much everything else that we're seeing on the charts. The risk on it is rather small, right? Only 9 pips. Dollar Swiss. Let's see. Do we have any type of setup in that one right now? No, just confirmed uptrend. No, it's the same zone. It's an hourly zone and a 30-minute zone. Yeah, everything is confirmed uptrend. So it is a potential area. If it turns and rolls now, it's going to leave without us, but there's nothing we can do. We're not interested in messing with this zone right here. We want the one a little bit higher. So 91.89, it's a level we've had on all week. If you're able to grab it, awesome. All right, 110.12. We talked about this level, not so much as an entry, but as an area where we expected there to be some hiccups. And again, you could say that, there's 1. You could say that that's kind of 2, and this is 3, and it based in that level. So the level is basically shot, but again, it's showing you that this is definitely an area where price is being drawn into. And again, top, and then base. Pulled all the way down, pulled right back up, and then we're basing and chopping through the same level. So, the last time we have confirmed sellers coming in is 110.31. This one, I would say, again, if we're going to follow all the yen secondary pairs, this would be one of those ones that, again, it is more set up for a short right now than anything else. Is it a great level to be selling off of? Not really, right? Because we've touched this so much. There can't be many sellers left. I kind of wanted this pop just a little bit more, and then I would be okay with it. But right now, 30 minutes. There's probably can be an argument made for this level. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it yellow. Let me see. What do we got? Yeah, indicator's marking it off, but let's see. Let me go back in time. Yeah, they're not marking it off because again the indicator's not as good as those little hiccups there. It actually looks better here versus the candles on Oanda. Or we got to drop. It's only 21. Oops, how much is it? 8? Yeah, it's only 8. Problem with this one, although I'd love to say, hey, listen, we should go short. I think getting short from the 110.30 is fine. That gives us about 38 pips to drop to the downside, and we don't need 38 pips based off of that risk-reward setup. Going short from here doesn't really give us enough room. It's only about 18 pips to the downside. Based off the level of risk you need to take, it's not going to hit that 1 to 3. So it's not quite there. I'm debating, is it an area where we can go long from? It hit it at midnight. It made an attempt at 8:30 this morning, but it just literally chopped sideways and came back up again. So, it's an area. Can I help you with what? Here, give it to me. I told you to stop hitting all the buttons. Here. Oh. I know what happened. Here. Here. You're welcome. Really, I think on this one, we wait for a little bit more clean. Like I said, I think the down is good. I think the up, you could there. Arguably, I guess you could have something in there. But again, there's all this all this news in with Jackson Hole and everything. I think the dollar yen is going to be a little bit harder to play because, again, you're going to have yen strength, dollar strength. I think there's going to be competing factors in this one to make it a little bit more difficult. Looks like all the dot coins are red today. Doji down 5. AMC is back down again. Natural gas up 2.51%. That one is exploding. TLT down a little bit. Let's go across and look at oil real quick. All right. So you guys were around for oil yesterday, and we talked about being long. Again, it went back up. This zone, as soon as it based here, it was kind of over. And again, there's 2 touches just in view, and I think we had another touch back over here. Yeah, there's your 1. There's your 2. There's your 3. So again, our 3 break was right there. Okay, takes that one out. There was a knockout yesterday, and again, that was more for the kind of bounce in the overnight at the 61. So we can remove that level now. Again, a couple good trade setups in that from yesterday. I want to put a new level in right there. Let's mark off the... let's see, that hit at 9, so that one actually would not go in there. So there's our 3 bottom to our 830. Oops. Not that. Let's change it to it's this one. All right. Kind of a weird place to spike, but all right. To 415. Let's turn this orange. Whoops. Or not orange. All right. Oil. It's kind of it's interesting where we're at right now with oil. Definitely some. Again, have the level up top. You got to mark that one off. You can see that we definitely had sellers coming into this level, and again, had that base drop down. It wasn't clean. I mean, this is in the overnight. This is like super late at night, and then there's your 2 o'clock window. 3 o'clock started down over here. But we literally we retraced back up exactly to where we were. So this one is kind of interesting. I would say, it's already done most of its movement from really this 9 o'clock till now. Whew. I don't even know if I would take it short again from that level. That's a tough one. It's a decent level, had decent basing, but the fact that it was formed at like 8 o'clock at night and then just, kind of spent all this time here, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, I don't like it as much for that reason. Now, it did get some help at like the 2 to 2:30 time frame, but is it going to be enough to hold this next push? Now, again, it is 10:30. You can see that, again, 10 o'clock is where the reversal is. There is a reversal there. I'm curious to see if this is going to be the entry for oil today. It's 3.43 is right there. That is got to get going. Well, there's been an explosion at the airport. Lovely. All talk of inflation. Yeah, I mean, that could be our reversal for the day right there. Like I said, not into this position right now. It's at a 1-to-1 right now. So I mean, had you gotten into that level, you'd be more or less kind of at break even at this point. That could be the reversal for the day. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about that one. Like I said, it's too late to get into the position now. You'd already have to be in from that level. Again, natural gas inventory in 10 minutes, so this one could really throw a monkey wrench. Natural gas could definitely throw a monkey wrench in this one. We'll see what the positioning looks like. Yeah, I mean, not my favorite of trade setups, but I mean, it's a valid entry. There was your basing, pushing to the downside. The base below came back, test, and a strong push out of it. So if it's there, it all happened in the overnight, which I'm not a huge fan of. But again, it did get some help with that European session open and then pull back. So it's all right. I don't know that I'd trade much more on that one today. I think again, if it continues to roll, look for it for tomorrow. And again, Jackson Hole will have some play in this one. Gold is kind of confused. And like I said, the two levels we talked about in gold hitting, we got hit the first one yesterday, and I believe the second one got hit. Got close. Got super, super close at the 9 o'clock window today. Again, all the inflation talk is great for gold, but again, it's not like it's not like Powell said it. If Powell said it, it would be different. So I think gold's more sideways than anything else. I mean, right now it's down 0.03% with really no bit of movement. When Jackson Hole gets started later today, when we start seeing the headlines from it, I think gold will be a lot more affected by it. Particularly, I think one of the big things they're going to mention is energy inflation. Everybody knows that when I say energy, I'm talking, basically, oil. I think it'll be mentioned today. But if they start acknowledging inflation and being able to control inflation, remember, New Zealand is raising, and now they're saying by 50 basis points, which is a big jump. Other countries are going to start doing as well to start curbing inflation. That's where I think gold is really going to start I think it's going to start to shine the more they talk about it. So Blurred's comments, great, but we need some more people to jump in. Again, it's just flat. I mean, literally, we're fluctuating now between, we're at 0% right now. So yeah, we need some more movement. But I think decent levels. We have that on top. Let's bring this across again. The 1800 figure is going to be important. We know it's sellers there. It's just there's so many wicks here. That was your target for the short on the downside. Let's bring this across just so we have it more in close proximity. Delete these. I deleted those the other day. $1,800 is going to be what matters. I'm curious if we're going to get through this. That's going to be the big question. Like I said, not really like a sell area. I'll change it to this, but not really a sell area. But again, sellers have stepped in once already at that level. So, but yeah, both profit targets hit on this one. Actually, that should have been higher. This one moved. Should have been right there. So yeah, you can see it's based off the body behind. I would say look for this to get back up to 1,800 today. I think it has every right to be back up at the 1,800 mark, especially finding these two bottoms. With the comments we've heard, I think 1,800, at least close to this. I think in this area of interest between 1,796 and 1,800 is on the books for today. Silver's down 0.8, kind of same thing. Again, this was not the best level. Spent way too much time here, way too choppy, way too many little bodies. And again, it drove us all the way down to there. So again, really not much left. But from the original level, hit, and then again, that one exploded through and immediately turned around, and it turned around over here. So, I'd say kind of that. I mean, this one really hasn't changed. We're still looking for 23.95. Bottom side, again, we had this larger time frame zone at 22. I don't think we're getting to 22. I think we'll have issues here. Again, any short profit targets are down here at 23.18. We don't need this now because it sliced through with pretty decent conviction. Obviously, there's going to be a hiccup here. I forgot. I didn't see this test. There's just not enough trade set up in there. That's going to be another level. We'll see some profits to the downside. So if you're not out, those are your two profit targets right now. Yeah, short. Can I what? Can't hear you. You're mumbling again. All right, let's go natural gas and see what we got natural gas. All right. So natural gas has punched a little bit higher than that zone. And again, we were waiting to see where this was going to stabilize. So let's drop down. It looks like it is not stabilizing yet. It is finding sellers just above where that is. Let me see if I can find what it's pulling from. Five minutes to do this. Unfortunately, this candle's kind of weird. There's a gap here. That's a big zone, though. I'm on the 15-minute. I guess it's not as big. All right. 15-minute. Problem with this is we're not in a level right now. I was really hoping that one was going to hold. We just don't have any stabilization whatsoever. There's no stabilization in this one at all. We do know that we have a gap fill up here, though. So I would say that it is more setting up for kind of a short reversal from that level. I mean, this is where the risk to reward looks like that. So we're close. I mean, it's there, but we don't have the hold. What we're looking for is the hold in price, particularly on the 1 minute, and it should be in a level. It's a little bit shy of the level. And again, now it looks like it's trying to put the hold in, but at minute 27, that's not even really a hold on the 1 minute. So it's kind of setting up for a short, but I wouldn't say there's an entry on this one today. Not as good as what oil was yesterday. And again, I don't think oil was great yesterday. Like I said, it was kind of pushing through, but it was at least holding around a level. This level's a little bit farther away for the short. It's set up for a short, but it's not. We're not seeing it in the candles right now with natural gas, unfortunately, today. Again, I'm wondering how much of this. And then look, now it's starting to make that move to the downside, holding. I'm gonna see what it comes back to. Fortunately, there's not even. It's kind of a level right there, though. Yep. Hold on. You got to stop hitting the buttons and trying to change things on yourself. Here. Do you want Morphle? Here. There's Morphle. Watch the Morphle. Interesting thing with this is right now the way that it's setting up, how it's pulling back into this zone, it looks like it's setting up for this, right? For a pop higher. Overall, we know on the 30-minute we have a zone sitting just above where we are. But right now, the way that it is setting up right now, with the way that it's pulled back and it's kind of holding in here, it does look more like it wants to pull one of these on us. Right? That's what it looks, because again, it's pulling back and it's kind of holding in that kind of smaller zone right there on the 1 minute. But we're so close, right? We're so close to an area on the 30-minute where there's a gap. And again, the gap's been filled, right? It's already been filled. But that's the issue. It's like, it's set more for the long, but we're so close, I feel like it could get punched through. This is a tough one today, right? I mean, oils yesterday was not perfect, but again, it still did exactly what it should have done. It popped right off of this strategy. It is holding right now on that same level again. But I'm using a 1 minute. On a 5 minute, I don't think we can see it. Not really. You do it on a 3. You can kind of see it on the 3, right? You guys see how it kind of formed a base there? But again, it's actually an engulfed candle. Look at that. Look at how that candle is engulfed. So I would say it's set more, the new strategy base wise, it is more set for a long. But again, you got to be very cautious with where it's bouncing to, because again, we do have a 30-minute gap zone, which again was a great area last time to kind of fall off of. This is kind of how it's set right now. 1 and 3 is right there for news. So, all right, we'll see. Let's go up and look at the indices, see what we got over here. I obviously got to take this off. Let's go here. Actually, let's see. On US, this. Let's see what it came in as. 29. So it's a big miss, right? Big miss on that one. There you go. You're out. Oh, it's not yet because it was on the 1 minute. So it's printed, but I think it's a little bit delayed. Oh, it is a delay. So I'll be able to tell you in 10 minutes what it looks like, the delay. But yes, the way that it was set. Oh, I forgot. I always forget that this one is set on the delay inside of TradingView for me. But yeah, the way that was stabilizing there. So yeah, so I was 10 minutes behind. So this is actually where it was supposed to stabilize at the 18-19 mark. So I mean, based off of what the news is, it should have spiked. So that's how it was set up. So we'll see how it works out. I always forget that. Ugh. One of these days, I'll just break down and actually purchase that data for TradingView. ES, look at this. Wow. Super movement on the 1 minute on ES. Yeah. I think we're still stuck. I mean, there's just nothing there. I would say all the data today with this one is more based off of going down than anything else. It is down a little bit right now, but yeah, I don't really love anything. Again, there's your area of interest, right? Base, touch, touch, touch. So we'll remove it just to kind of keep it clean. We got our spike, but missed it by 1.5 or 1.7, I think it was. On here, I'm missing it by 2. But yeah, I missed it by a little tiny bit. I think, again, for this one, a break below 44.73. I think we take this one short down to 44.54. We got to break out of the zone, but this level has been hit multiple times at this point. Look for the break to go lower. Again, I think the opportunity to hit 4,500 was yesterday. Got close. Didn't know. NG blew the top off. So, yeah, so it was right. Like I said, it's still delayed. Yeah. Like I said, that's how it was set for news. So, like I said, we'll see. You know, I don't know that we'll go 8 more minutes, but see, now I'm curious. Now you're going to make me look at it. Hold on. Oh, commodities, natural gas. Yeah. So, yeah, it did. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yes, the natural gas assessment was correct, guys. There you go. And again, here. Oh, it's expired the 10. 9 to 11. There you go. So, yep, even 10 minutes behind. Even 10 minutes behind, we were able to grab that one long. Yeah, and there was your stabilization. Bump, 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 bump. Whoops. There you go. I need a risk to reward tool in here. Like, I very rarely, I very rarely do any charting inside of the Nadex platform itself. But I will make sure that, I send this one to Todd and be like, hey, look at that. I need a risk to reward tool. Maybe it's in here. I just don't play around in here at all. Like, I just don't. Yeah, it's just not my thing. But yeah, so we're good there. NQ. Wow, look at that movement. No, it's not doing anything. It's down 0.2%. And like I said, I think this one is also red for the day. I don't think this one stabilizes. Again, it's maintained a hold. It's managed to hold here twice. I think this one goes lower, as I mentioned before. Again, we have a racetrack. I don't think there's any huge amount of buyers until 15,126 to the downside. So, yeah, again, I mentioned it in the next presentation. I think we're short this one as well. And this is the right now and again delayed data for the indices for NQ1 at least on me. It shows being the weakest of all. So I think if this continues the rest of the day to roll forward with talk of taper and raising interest rates, I do think this is a continue to the downside. YM is the most flat, and again on a 30-minute, I wouldn't say anything earth-shattering here either. Let's see. Let's go back. I don't think this one's really done much. Where are we at? Wall Street. Yeah. It's kind of pushed down just a little. It kind of pushed up and then it's pushing back down again. So yeah, this is a run of the sellers. I would say YM today, same thing. I mean, on a 15-minute, again, we're supposed to trade these on the 15-minute. Was there a trade set up at the open? Yeah, actually there was. You would have traded this level here for the red. And again, there's your 930 candle right there. Push to the downside. So yeah, so NQ provided a quick short. 1 to 3 is right. That's 1 to 3.06, but you can see it's out. I hate this how sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right there. So very, very quick entry. I love it. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like if I put it here, it's like, oh no, oh, okay, now it's working. Oh no, 3.6. It's like, oh no, it touched the bottom. It's like, yeah, because it hit here and hit here. Like this is not a knock. Like if it goes down and does nothing, like there. So yeah, you're seeing this one drop as well. So yeah, there was your entry from this morning. Right there. There's your 930 trade setup for YM. Now everything is red, and again the NQ is leading the case on this one. And look, this is dropping too. So yeah, nice push. Russell did not have an entry at the open. 930 is here. Yeah, this Russell did not have an entry. So YM had an entry. NQ also had an entry on the 15. There was your level of basing. And again, there's your 930 candle. So NQ also had an entry. Right? So NQ also had an entry. And look at that. Slice right through that line like it didn't matter. So, is there somebody else? Oh, a second Cabal explosion. Great. Oh, now we have U.S. Marines injured. Americans told to leave immediately. So I thought I saw yesterday where we had till the 31st, but there was going to be no extensions. And Biden was like, yep, we're doing it, but we're working on contingencies. Now we've managed to get kicked out 5 days early. Yeah. Americans leave now. Get out. Where UK... Oh, here you go. Look. Now they're attacking UK. There you go. Lovely. Wonderful. So that was new. Anyway, that's it for today. Let me see if we can really see. This one has 3 minutes. We can't see it yet, but That one's off a little bit. Yeah, we'll see. It'll kick in. All right, so let's go ahead and do. Let's go do the drawing for today. So we got 7 people in. Yesterday it was Neuro, right? Neuro won yesterday. I should have just looked at this and be like, "Yep, Neuro's dropping it down. Look at this." So we got Will, Marina, Debbie, Ernest. Got all the usual suspects in here today. I'll give you guys about another 30 seconds. So we are back into real war again. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would hate to say that. I mean, I could say that I'm surprised, but guess what? I'm not surprised. I mean, that's what happened when you embolden people. The difference now is all the equipment that we left, because I don't know. I mean, I think you know this. I'm pretty sure you guys know this. Like, when we leave an area, we don't take stuff home, right? Like, we don't pack up all the guns and pack up all the trucks and pack up all that stuff. You know, a lot of the stuff they leave. I had a friend that was in Iraq, and he's like, yeah, we left it all there. He's like, I was in demolitions, so, like, I helped destroy some of the stuff. He's like, but for the most part, you just kind of throw sand over it and you leave it there. Because they don't want to, like, bring things back because they would have to sanitize and this and that, and they're worried about all this kind of stuff. He's like, no, he's like, we just left tons of stuff there. Like, he's like, it was unreal. He's like, I was surprised. But that's what we do when we leave a lot of the resources and stuff we brought there because it's more expensive to, like, bring it home and all the cleaning, and it's, yeah. Like, he explained, like, what did he say? He's like, there was some type of parasite or something, like sandworms or something that they didn't want to bring back. They're like, yeah, it could cause, like, major, ecological problems, so we just leave it all there. I was like, did you blow it all up? He's like, nope. He just kind of left it there. It's like, oh. He's like, we strip it, but he's like, it's still there. So, yeah, they're emboldened. Yeah, it's totally wasteful. Yeah, totally wasteful, but what are you going to do? All right, let's close it down. But now they have all that stuff. I mean, I'm sure that they know they're very, very smart individuals. And they said, 10 years ago, it was, they were a bunch of, like, ragtag people. But now, like, the people that survived and stayed are extremists now. And they're, they have missiles. They are magically getting technology from other countries that would like to see us fail. But nobody's talking about that. But, yeah, not necessarily surprised by any of this stuff happening. All right, here we go. Winner of today's drawing is... So Ernest stepped up to the plate to see if we can halt Neuro's advance, because, again, this is kind of the number 3 and number 4 battle right now. Let's see who's going to take it. So Neuro won yesterday, so he's technically going for 100 pip chips. Ernest is going for 50. So let's see if it makes sense. Winner of today's drawing is... Whoa. Eki with 1. Eki takes both of them down a notch on that one. So let's see. Mark that as complete. Let's see. Let's go to leaderboard over here. Eki is also silently grinding higher. Give him his 50. And he is right on Wealth Builder's butt. And again, Wealth Builder basically comes in just to win. This is like how he does it. He doesn't watch every day, but he comes in like just to win. So this is like almost nothing but wins. But Eki is in 9th place, again above Q. Hopefully Q is doing well. Yeah, so let's see. 41. We should be able to see the spike now. Let's see the. There you go. So yes, did the new strategy work out? I think yes. And again, it did blow through the gap. But again, new strategy. We only needed this to move a little bit. So there you go. So again, that level is now gone. That was a gap. We can get rid of that. And yeah, look at that. 1 minute candles, new strategy. Look at that. Look at that. Now, the question is, how many strike prices was that? Just so I can send it to Todd. Be like, hey, this is why you guys got to fix this. 9 to 11. Yeah, blew it out. Unfortunately, there's just not many options. Actually, no, we would have used 10 to 12. Yeah, I'm going to send that to Todd. Be like, hey, here you go. He just ekes my nerves. All right. So with that said, guys, I will catch you tomorrow on Friday. Final trading day of the week. And yeah, with that said, you guys have a great trading day. If you need anything, go ahead and message me. Watch out for those headlines today. There will be some. Now, especially because we're going back to war. Especially, the military tends not to take it lightly. But I'll tell you right now, you thought there was a lot of politics before. And, now that people have lost their lives because of the evacuation, You saw approval ratings dropping massively before. There's going to be even more approval ratings dropping. So, and the UK, if they have soldiers that lost their lives in this as well, they're going to be pretty emboldened also. So, yeah, watch out for headlines today. Watch for that geopolitical stuff, and watch. There'll probably be some. Would this be a PR candidate? Maybe. Yeah, probably. I mean, there's as you can see on here on the 30-minute, Ernest, there is levels above, right? Bunch of people in here. Right there. So yeah, I mean there is if it holds up top. It didn't hit it unfortunately, but yeah, I would say that same short position we had before. Yeah, it's probably or that we were worried about. Ideally, it would have stopped there, but yeah, I would say that would probably be the next one. 410 to 413. Yeah, if we can get there. But again, look for the top. And you can do the same thing. Drop it to a 5-minute. Look for a color change up top. And then I'll take it short again. So. All right. I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. You guys take care. If you need me, shoot me a message in Discord. Take care.